Good morning, everyone. Welcome. It is Monday morning, officially 9:30 a.m. Central Time. I am so excited to have you here. My name is Jennifer Bonner. I am the manager of nursing services here at Archer Review, and I am just absolutely delighted to have you joining me today. I know we have a lot of information to go over, and I just wanted to start off the morning by saying, you know what? It is Monday. It is a brand new week. It's a brand new day. And I'm just wondering who is excited to be talking about how do we turn those setbacks into comebacks? So, whether that is the fact that you had your first unsuccessful attempt, or I've even worked with students that have had multiple, like in the teens. So, if that's you, I'm really excited that you're here. I'm really glad to have you joining us this morning. So during our time together, what we're going to talk about is what does this look like? What does this mean? What do we do? So one of the things that is very difficult about having an unsuccessful attempt to the board exam is the fact that it does take some time to grieve. It takes a moment for us to just sit and say, hey, this happened. What do I do? And kind of do a self inventory and kind of figure out what's my next step. So I'm hoping that if you are in that spot, if you are struggling, that you are going to find some encouragement here, that you will not feel fearful to be able to share your thoughts or your questions. So if you are joining us on Zoom, please go ahead, put those questions into the Q&A, and I will try to answer as many of those as I possibly can. But before we get started, I want to know, where are you joining us from? Where are you joining me from? We currently have, looks like 42 on in Zoom. We have a few joining us through Restream, through Facebook and YouTube. I'm so excited to have you here. So welcome. So I'm seeing Canada, Pakistan, Ethiopia, Iowa, Qatar, Oklahoma, North Carolina, Chicago, Florida, Iowa, Thailand, UK, Washington, India. Where else? Looks like Ethiopia, Minnesota, South Carolina, Texas, South Carolina, again, Maryland. Very good. So excited. Looks like Ghana, Australia, Philippines. So glad to have you guys here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me as we talk through this. So, one of the things that happens, so we meet with students all the time that have had unsuccessful attempts. If they have used our product, whether that's the Q Bank or the SurePass combo or Intense Prep, and a lot of times their first question is, okay, what happened? Why did I fail? And this is one of those things where it's really important for us to sit down and kind of discuss this, figure out what was it that happened, how can we help you going forward? And there's a few things that come to mind. The first thing I want to know is, hey, what did your studying look like before you took the exam? What did you do to study? How long did you study? How were you feeling going up to the test? Now, many students will say, I didn't feel ready. I don't know anybody that has ever told me they felt ready to take the board exam. Sometimes it's a issue where we just didn't prepare enough or sufficiently. Maybe we just kind of went in with a willy-nilly, hey, I got this, no big deal. Other times it's overthinking, reading into the question. Any overthinkers here with me? I am definitely one of those. When things happen, I will start to read into it and start to concoct this story that's been going on, that's not even in the question. A lot of times test anxiety plays a huge part. So that's another question that I will ask is, did you feel like you were anxious? And a lot of times students will tell me no, but as they start to explain what they were feeling during the exam, it points excuse me, to testing anxiety. If you are starting to feel angry, you're starting to feel tired all of a sudden, your heartbeat is right here in your neck, or you're starting to have heart palpitations. A lot of times those can be signs that we have some anxiety welling up. Other times, cramming. Y'all, I have to admit, this is a moment of truth here. I have to tell you, I have crammed for my fair share of exams. There were times where I was up all night thinking this was going to be the way that I could not fail an exam. Sometimes it worked, other times it didn't. But the board exam is not one that we can cram for. This is a unique exam, unlike any other test I have ever taken in my life. And this is different for each person. Each person sits down and deals with this in a little bit different way. Okay. But what we need to do is we need to figure out your particular situation, address it, and then we are going to do our best to fix that for the next time. So I want you to just kind of be honest with yourself. If you feel like letting me know in the chat, you certainly can. But do you feel like your previous attempts are weighing you down from your next attempt? Do you feel like it's still following you where you're going, oh no, I'm going to be unsuccessful the next time too? Let me know. Okay, I'm seeing a couple saying yes, 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 yes. I'm seeing a few of you. And I am so sorry for this. But I want you to know that the way we view this, the way we see ourselves, the way we talk to ourselves can really determine getting our head in the game. So, the first thing I want you to do is, regardless, whether you just found out this morning or maybe it was several weeks ago, I want you to just take a deep breath. I want you to reset your mindset. Okay. I want you to kind of shake out your shoulders, shake out your hands. Okay. It's okay if we're not successful on our first attempt. That doesn't mean that we're never going to be successful. Okay. Now, this is a hard exam. We just talked about that. It's a hard. Being a nurse is hard. It's okay to give yourself some grace. Okay. Remember, so if you, anybody with kiddos in your house, I have one that learned to walk not too long ago. And I have to tell you that all of my kiddos, every single one of them fell several times when they were learning to walk. But you know what? They got back up and they tried again. It wasn't this, I'm going to sit here and pout because I fell down. I'm never going to walk ever, ever, ever. No, they get up and they start again. And you know what? Chances are they're going to fall several times. Okay. No one's getting upset at us because we fall when we're learning to walk. And here, Archer, we're here to help you break down these concepts. Here to help you improve. We're here to encourage you on this journey because it's exactly what it is. I want you to give yourself permission to fail. It is okay to take the time after your exam to grieve. Take a moment. It's hard. We know it's hard. It's okay to have that conversation with yourself. This happened. It's sad. Okay. But when that time is over, I want you to get back in the saddle. I want you to bring those books out, get out your notes, open up your Q bank, and get ready to go again. Now, if you're anything like me, there are times when I have not been successful. Okay, there's a lot of times when I have not been successful. And there are moments in those difficult times when I start to look at myself as less than. I'm never going to do it. I never should have started this journey. Anybody with me? We start to talk to ourselves in a different manner than we would if our best friend were to come to us and say, hey, I failed, or hey, I was unsuccessful. So let's say Shelly comes to me and she says, Jennifer, I was unsuccessful on my exam. I'm not going to say, you know what, you never should have started this to begin with. You're never going to be a good nurse. And the reason you failed is because you don't need to be a good nurse. You shouldn't be in that field. No, because I know that Shelly is a hard worker. I know that she's dedicated. I know she's passionate about her clients. And I'm going to say, you know what, Shelly, this is just a setback. And you know what? I know that you can take this and turn it into something amazing. I have to tell you about a student that I worked with one time who came to me and said, Jennifer, I was unsuccessful. I just don't know what to do. I'm just sad about it. And I said, you know what? It's okay. Let's be sad about it. But when we're done being sad about it, or maybe before we're done being sad about it, let's start over. Let's see this as an opportunity for us to become a better nurse. And you know what? She said, Jennifer, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to study. I'm going to do my very best. and I'm going to go take it again. And you know what? If I fail again, I'm going to do the same thing and I'm going to work even harder. And you know what? The very next time that student passed her exam, she sent me that email that said, I finally did it. And y'all, I tell this to students all the time. When I get those emails, I do this happy dance. And one of these days, I'm going to record it so that you can play it for yourselves. It's a little silly, but in my house, we're silly and we don't apologize for it. But it's really exciting when we see how hard the student had worked and finally that paid off for her. And so I want you to know that this, how you face this setback really determines your next step. So you can fold your hands and say, well, this is just dumb. I never should have taken it. The test is silly. Or you can say, you know what? I'm not ready to give up on this dream of mine. And I'm going to work even harder and going to become a better nurse for that. So I want to know, anybody struggle with test anxiety? Anybody struggle with test anxiety? I do so bad. Y'all, when I went to take, I remember my midwifery boards. So if I did not kind of give you a background. So my background, I started in a neuro ICU. I moved into endoscopy, then found my love for labor and delivery postpartum. I went to school to become a family nurse practitioner and then decided that I really enjoyed women's health. So I went back to focus on that. I've been a certified nurse midwife for 6 years now, and I've been in education for two. And y'all, when I went to take my midwifery boards, I went to hand them my ID and my hand was shaking so bad. It was something. So many of us deal with test anxiety. And there are several things that we need to know. First thing is we need to know, what is it? So, as we prepare for this exam, it's really natural for us to feel that weight of test anxiety. Remember, we've come so far in our journey and we're well equipped to conquer this challenge. And we want to think of every study session as a step closer to our dream of becoming a nurse. But test anxiety is a performance stressor, and that leads to thought blocking. And so, a performance stressor means that there's something riding on this exam. When I was in nursing school, we had to take a test to get from our junior to our senior year, and to get from our senior year to graduation to take that exam. And so, there's something that happens. If I don't pass this exam, I don't move on. And then I've lost all this money. I have to start over. I have to find another school of nursing. And because of all of that weight, because of all that stress, it leads to thought blocking to the point where we can't even remember our name sometimes. I know you guys have seen those, maybe the memes or stories about students who went to take an exam, they got 100%, but they didn't put their name on it, right? That happens. We just become so anxious that the little things tend to slip our mind. And there's lots of times we can see this show up, whether it's a high stakes time test like the board exam, whether we have pressure from others. Hey, Jennifer, when are you going to take that test? Did you pass your test yet? Hey, when you start your job, what happens if you don't pass? There's pressure from others. Maybe it's because we know that if we take this test, we can have a different lifestyle. Or maybe passing this exam gives you a different opportunity that means something really important for your family. Negative mindset, knowing you're never going to be good enough. If you have been that person that somebody has been speaking this into your life for years, I am so sorry. And I want you to hear me say right now, you are worthy. You can do this. And I know you can be successful. Maybe you just have a lack of confidence. Maybe you just don't have that nudge of saying, you know what, I can do this. I think sometimes we forget that nursing school is no small deal. It is a huge deal, and being able to pass tells me a lot about who you are. Maybe you didn't prepare well enough. And those are conversations that we can certainly have. But I want you to believe in yourself. We believe in you. You've worked tirelessly. You've gained all this knowledge. You've honed your skills. Trust in your abilities. Take a deep breath. Tackle this exam one question at a time. I want you to embrace that excitement of showing your expertise, right? This test is not just a hurdle, it's an opportunity to shine. It's an opportunity to prove your dedication to the nursing profession. I want you to stay positive. But I also want you to maintain that healthy balance in your life. And remember, you're not alone. Your peers, your instructors, your loved ones, all of them are cheering you on. But there does come a point when we try to shovel so much into our mind that our mind is almost like a toddler that's been overfed. It's like, listen, Jennifer, you can keep making me listen to these podcasts. You can keep shoveling in this information, but I'm not going to retain it because I'm too full. Okay. So, what I want you to do, I want you to visualize your success. I want to picture yourself passing the NCLEX. Maybe I want you to take a picture of yourself and put it on your computer screen as a nurse. I want you to write down things. I keep these little sticky notes. Let me see if I can find them. Okay, these are my uterus sticky notes, so don't make fun of me. But what I will do is I will keep these sticky notes and I will write down different things that someone has said, like, hey, you're going to be a great leader in the nursing profession, or hey, one day you're going to make a great APRN, or you did such an amazing job with those kiddos. I hope you head into pediatrics. I see you have a really great gift there. I want you to write those things down. I want you to put them all over from your computer screen to your bathroom to your car. I want you to put those down and surround yourself with those positive affirmations. The next thing I want you to figure out is what is it that's causing your test anxiety? Now, many of you are like, okay, Jennifer, that's a little silly. It's the test, right? But is it a fear of failure? Is it a fear of not being good enough? What is it? And then we can start to figure out how do we prevent it? So, in order to figure out how to prevent it, we need to be prepared for some test anxiety. Maybe a little, maybe a lot, but we want to just expect that there's going to be some of it. Okay. Now, I want you to think of test anxiety like a friend. Okay. It might be a super annoying friend, but it's a friend that's going to help keep you alert, help keep you motivated. Now, mild test anxiety can actually increase our performance because of that heightened awareness, right? But once we get to that moderate level of anxiety or more, we can start to have those symptoms like our mind going blank, nausea, tachycardia, headaches, fear, those types of things. And so I want you to be prepared for a little bit of it. And I want you to kind of play the whack-a-mole game. Okay. If you've ever played this game, I took my kiddos to a arcade a couple weeks ago, and they had this game where these little, well, this was a clown game, but I've seen it as little moles pop up out of this hole, and you have to hit them with the little mallet. Okay. So that's what I want you to picture this as. You're waiting for one of these symptoms of test anxiety to pop up so you can nix it. Okay. Now, everyone's test anxiety is a little bit different. So I want you to take a moment. You can share it with me if you'd like, but I want you to take a moment and I want you to think about what does your test anxiety look like? What is welling up in you? So for me, I start to feel a little tachycardic. Okay. And then all of a sudden, I feel like there is no blood left in my face. I get very um, kind of jittery, things like that. I have known people that have said, hey, I get headaches and I get really angry. And some of you are saying you get real sweaty. Absolutely. This is the day that I am putting on loads of deodorant and probably taking some with me just for that reason. But I want you to think about what your symptoms are so that you know when those pop up, you are able to nix those and get them out of the way. Now, someone is saying, taking my test on Monday. This is awesome. We are cheering you on. I hope this is beneficial for you. And please don't forget to let us know about your success. We love cheering you on. The other thing is, I want you to go in with confidence, knowing that you have followed a study plan. Now, this is one of my huge encouragements for students is go into your Archer dashboard and I want you to find one of the study plans. So how do you do that? Well, you go in to your dashboard. You're going to go onto the left side and you will see study plans. And for most repeat test takers, I recommend the 12-week study plan. If you do not have time, you cannot change anything, the 6-week plan would be my next best um, suggestion for you. But I want you to go through a study plan, making sure you've reviewed all the areas that you are likely to be tested on. And then I want you to check those off. Y'all, I am somebody that needs a list. I told you I have my sticky notes. I have my pad of paper. I make lists all day long. And the reason why I make those lists sometimes is so I can check them off. But I notice that there's a lot of things going on in my life. And if I don't write them down, sometimes I forget. Now, someone is asking, why do I recommend the 12-week study plan? The reason I recommend the 12-week study plan is because it gives you the time to breathe, to focus, and it's also going to give you more wiggle room to be able to go through each of those areas of the testing plan. Okay. So, how do we combat the test anxiety? Well, before the exam, I want you to prepare the best you can. I want you to check out if you're trying to figure out what's the best thing to review. I recommend the SurePass combo because what that's going to do is it's going to give you the on-demand videos. It's going to give you the Q bank, and it also gives you access to our 3-day live review. We have our next 3-day live review coming to you this week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It is 7 days each day where we have instructors coming in and out talking about the most high yield information you're most likely to be tested on your board exam. Now, what if I'm still struggling after that? The on demand videos are great for breaking down those big concepts. I see several of you have already registered for a 3-day live. Can't wait to see you there. But it's going to break down those concepts a little bit further in a way that you're able to slow it down because we know that some people really talk like this and it's really hard to follow them, right? And then some people talk a little slower. And there are times for each of those. There are some students that need somebody that's talking a little bit faster to hold their attention. There's also students who need someone who's talking a little bit slower so that they can catch those little things. With the on demand videos, you're able to go in and you're able to slow things down, take the notes as you need, and then go back and review if needed. And then you can take that information to the Q bank and see how you're doing. We have mock exams. We have those readiness assessments, the CAT exams. We recently just launched an exit exam. Okay. We also have a Q bank booster if you're needing something extra. And then look for support. If you're needing someone to just encourage you, just go find a friend, someone who's taken the exam. Just tell them, hey, I'm really struggling. I'm getting ready to take my exam and I could really use some encouragement. Private tutoring. We have webinars. We've moved from our small group tutoring into more of webinars. It's the same opportunity. We're giving the same information. It just looks a little bit different. And then during your exam, I want you to talk to yourself like you would talk to a best friend. I want you to take those deep breaths, relax your tension, redirect your focus. You are taking this test one question at a time. And we know that as you do that, you're going to remember, hopefully, that each opportunity you get, each question that pops up on your screen is a new opportunity to show them what you're made of. So someone was asking for the SurePass account, am I limited to attend the 3-day live review? So the 3-day live review, you can attend one time per SurePass membership, but you can attend again if you would like to. I believe it's $75. Okay. So when it comes to using Archer Review, there's a few things that I want you to be aware of. So we're going to talk about those study plans that we talked about just for a moment, but I want you to kind of get the idea. Now, for a first-time test taker, typically I'm going to recommend the 6-week plan, especially if they have already taken an NCLEX prep course. But this is basically going to lay out each area of the NCLEX test plan into manageable chunks. It will tell you how many questions to do per day, when you should review your notes, review your missed questions. It tells you when to take a readiness exam and when to take a CAT. And then you're going to notice no questions on that day before your exam. Now, this 12-week study plan is a little bit different. These are for students who just need to slow it down a little bit, or for those who have been unsuccessful on the NCLEX before. This is good for those who have busier schedules. So those who are working full-time, maybe you have other activities that you are obligated to, other commitments, a smaller daily commitment, but you're still getting through all of that information. Now, If you want, you can do practice questions on the content for about 15 to 20 of those. But we do recommend that you just focus on all areas because we still want you paying attention to that information that you're not studying so that we're not losing ground there. Okay. When you're looking through those videos, so it will tell you here on Monday on week 7, it says the immune system. I want you to watch your video. And then after the main concepts, I want you to pause that. And I want you to see if you are able to explain that information. And that tells you whether you have a good grasp on it or not. Okay. So those are our study plans. Now I'm interested, which study plan is speaking to you? Which study plan are you interested in? You can let me know in the chat. I'm seeing the 6, I'm seeing the 12, I'm seeing a little bit of both. And that is okay. I want you to get which one would work best for you. And remember, you can always plan to jump into a tutoring spot. We have now tutoring sessions that are 1 hour for 75 or 30 minutes for 40. And you can just stop in and say, hey, Jennifer, I'm really struggling. I'm getting ready to take my exam. Where do you think I should focus? And they can definitely help you with that. Now, we have just a few minutes left. I want to focus on how can we be confident that this attempt is going to be different. We can do a self-assessment. Remember, if we're showing up every day, we are going through the motions, we are doing the things that our study plan is telling us to do, we're doing great. I want you to stay motivated. Remind yourself of your why. Put it on those post-it notes. Leave it where you're going to see it. And remember, you're going to have days when things are just not clicking. Maybe you didn't sleep well. Maybe you're ill. We are headed into cold and flu season. Okay. I want you to remember this is par for the course. These are bound to happen. What I want you to do is go through, listen to maybe one of our Archer Pulse podcast episodes. I want you to do a couple questions, review your notes, go through flashcards. I want you to do something, keep yourself moving forward. And remember, here at Archer Review, we have something for everyone. If you are just getting into nursing school, maybe you're in the middle of nursing school, maybe you're like, man, I just don't even know how I'm going to make it through the semester. We have a spot for you. We have resources, we have tutoring available. If you're getting ready to take your NCLEX PN or NCLEX RN, we have a spot for you. Or maybe you're like, hey, I'm done with that. It's behind me. I'm ready to become an NP. We have a spot for you too. And so here at Archer Review, we are a family and we cheer each other on as a family. We're more than just test prep. We're committed to your success. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you found this encouraging. Please don't hesitate if you're struggling, reach out to us at NCLEX at archerreview.com. We are ready to cheer you on, and we can't wait to see those emails of happy mail telling us that you were successful. All right, everyone, happy studying. Have a great week. Take care.